Okay, this video is going to go over how to sketch angles and find the reference angle. So the first thing you should probably know is you're going to be, it's not very good, but that's okay. You're going to be graphing angles kind of like this. You'll be rotating, and wherever you end up um, gets an arrow going out from like the origin. And then your direction of rotation also gets an arrow as well. So positive angles rotate counterclockwise like this. Negative angles rotate clockwise down like this. You're always going to start on the positive x-axis right there. Another thing you need to know going into this is what a reference angle is. Basically, wherever you end up, the quickest way back to your x-axis is your reference angle. It's always going to be, if you look up here, it's always going to be between 0 and 90 degrees, which means it's always going to be positive. Some people say or equal to 90. I'm not one of them. So it's always going to be between 0 and 90 degrees. So let's just look at some examples. If I had to sketch 210 degrees, it's really helpful to know that like this is 90 degrees, this is 180 degrees, this is 270, and then your start is either 0 or 360 degrees. So that's also very important to keep in mind. So like if I had to sketch 210 degrees, well, I would go all the way to 180, and then it's 30 degrees more past 180. So this is where I end up, and I put the arrow for my direction of rotation. You really don't care about making it perfect. You care more about ending up in the correct quadrant. So this is what this one would look like. I kind of chose weird colors. That's okay. Now, if I was answering reference angle, it's going to be the quickest way back to the x-axis, which would be this right here. So all you have to do is kind of think, how far past 180 did I go? Well, I went 30 degrees past 180 degrees. Let's look at another. Negative 150 degrees. In this scenario, I'm rotating down instead of up because my angle is negative. And here's 90 degrees right here. Here's 180 degrees. So I'm going to go past 90, but not quite all the way to 180 degrees. Put your arrows for direction of rotation and where you end up. So now you have to answer reference angle. Well, that's going to be the quickest way to the x-axis, which would be this right here. So now I'm asking myself, instead of how far past 180 did I go, I'm asking myself, how much more to get to 180 do I need to go? That answer is 30 degrees. All right, now look at this one, 600 degrees. The first thing you need to realize is this is going to be more than 360 degrees, which means you're going to do more than one full loop. So what I would do is I would find out how much more past 360 degrees it is. That would be 240 degrees. So if I had to sketch this, I'm going to do a full 360 degrees. That's this right here. And then I still need to go 240 degrees more. So here's 90, here's 180, here's 270. So I need to go 240 degrees more. So here's 180, and then another 60 right there. Because that would make 240, 180 plus 60. It's not quite to 270. That's the point. You're just finding out that it's in quadrant 3. Now, if you needed to answer reference angle on this, the quickest way back to your x-axis would be this angle right here. So you're kind of asking yourself, how far past 180 did I go? So it's really like 240 minus 180. which is 60 degrees. All right, now they're also going to give you radians. So it works the same way. But on a radians one, you need to know that pi is right here. So that means pi over 2 is up here. That means 3 pi over 2 is down here. And then 0 or 2 pi would be back at your start, a full loop. So the way that I kind of like to do this is, in terms of this being pi, it's 1 pi, right? So 1 pi. You kind of have to scale it. What I mean by that is it's 1 over 1. Make it over 3 because you're dealing with a fraction that's over 3. So pi is 3 pi over 3. That's still 1 pi. So instead of looking at this and seeing pi, you should be looking at this and seeing 3 pi over 3. Because now it's super easy. You can just start at your normal start. You're rotating counterclockwise because this is a positive angle. And you're going to go past pi over 2, but not quite to 3 pi over 3. So this is what this one would look like. Now in terms of reference angle, the quickest way to the x-axis would be this right here. And so now you can just be like, okay, in terms of pi over 3, I went 2 pi over 3. I need 1 more pi over 3 to get to 3 pi over 3. That sounded confusing, I'm sorry. All right, let's look at this next one. Negative 5 pi over 4. You're going to start at the same location. You need to realize that this right here would be 4 pi over 4. It's just 1 pi. I'm just scaling it, kind of like I did right here. You're rotating clockwise because it's a negative angle. So I go just past 4 pi over 4 and end up right here in quadrant 2. So in terms of the reference angle, it would be this right here. So it went pi over 4 past 4 pi over 4. Some people do reference angles just by the math, just by working it out mathematically. I like to kind of graph these things and then look at it and use my head to answer them. Okay, this next one, negative 13 pi over 6. This is, sometimes I make them mixed numbers. This is negative 2 and 1/6 pi. So the reason I did that is because it's more than a full loop. So I wanted to find out how much more than a full loop it was. So here I would start like this. I do a full loop, which is my negative 2 pi portion of it. But then I still have to go 1/6 pi. So this is what this angle would look like. And so in terms of reference angle, the quickest way back to the x-axis would be this right here. So you're just asking yourself, how far past 2 pi did I go? Well, I went pi over 6 past it. All right, and then I put this last one on here because it's a quadrantal. Quadrantal means your angle winds up on an axis. Here, 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 or here. Some people say they do have reference angles. Some people say they don't. I say they don't. But basically, you would graph this. You would stop right here at pi over 2. So sketching it, it would look like this. And then since your reference angle here would be like 90 degrees, well, our reference angle has to be between 0 and 90. It can't be or equal to 90. So this one, the reference angle, I would put in A. It's not applicable. All right, that's how you sketch angles and find the reference angle. I hope this video helped, and I hope it wasn't too confusing.